Hey there. Look, my continued quest to get pumpkins to establish themselves and just grow each year here. This pink banana squash pumpkin was, they're great. They last quite a long time, but this one's just started to get wrinkly and start drying out. So I figured I'd try and transform this area of the garden and underneath the fruit trees. So this is a black boy peach just here. Um, it produces beautiful fruit, which we're still eating from the freezer now, getting towards spring. So that's pretty amazing. So there's a ton of grass though growing around underneath it, and this is the twitch and couch grass that's such a problem on our property that we're kind of battling, slowly winning. So what I hope to do is that by throwing this pumpkin out here and just letting it rot down as it will, and get it broken down by the frosts, because we're bound to still have some frosts this year, it might sprout and quite happily take over this area and shade out a lot of this grass, because pumpkins seem to work really well, and once they get established certainly can shade out the grass. They do a very good job of that here. And down here, that's a spaghetti squash, and it's one that we actually didn't see on the plants, and we left it in there, and it was only once some other weeds and things around it had fallen down and died off for the winter that we saw that popping up. So hopefully some spaghetti squash growing around here as well, although I do wonder that they might not be a little bit too closely related. So we've had a few that have got kind of a spaghetti squash fibre to the inside of a pumpkin. I've chucked a great big thing of nasturtium here to try and take over as well. That is full of seeds, so hopefully they take over as sort of an undergrowth to the pumpkin and the spaghetti squash. Over the back there in this spot is collards. So I let these collards go to flower last year. You can see they're going to flower again, but over the back of them you can also see there's a lot of usable greens growing here. So these have self-seeded right the way across this area, and I'm expecting them to just sort of take over and provide us a whole lot of greens and at the same time shade out the couch grass. Anyway, that's enough of me rambling. Hopefully we see a bit of a transformation of the spot. I guess late winter, early spring. Lovely day here, must be about 15-16 degrees, so quite lovely. Hope you have a good one. Cheers.